Let's go ahead and call the meeting to order.
What? I can't hear you.
Thank you, everybody. I'd like an approval of the minutes from August 28th.
So moved. Second.
Any changes? All in favor?
Aye.
On the financials, Glenn, anything on the treasurer's report?
Yeah, a couple things. So on the IDA, we received Friesling Campina's payment for the pump station project just this morning. So that makes our saving account balance $911 and change
In total?
in total. Yeah, I think that was the only.
How about the village?
I was waiting to get, they know it's coming, no issue, it's just sitting there. I
Okay,
just have to write them the letter. I was just waiting to get paid from the industries first.
good.
Okay, then on the LDC side, a little bit, I think I talked about previously, we'd requested a deferral from USDA on making our IRP payments. For the IRP 1 through 4. Even though they were all in favor of doing it, just never got processed in time. And so the majority of our payments hit in September. So we've made our payments on IRP 2 and IRP, well, I'll get back to it, and part on 4. So, so IRP 1 came out the 19th, IRP 4 came out the 9th, but they only took interest only, so sometime, just yesterday, they took out the remaining principal, so the balance in IRP 4 is actually $16,727. The other balances are all correct. IRP 4 will have a payment due of roughly $30,000. IRP 3, will have a payment of roughly $30,000 due in December, which we're on track to make, but it does change what we have available. On the positive side though, we did confirm with JDA that we did get $1 million in the ag fund the last time. So earlier this month, 2 weeks ago, I think, we received another $333,000 that's in our account. We have another $333 to draw down. And I got an email last week from them saying that we could have another $500,000 if we wanted it. I haven't gotten back to them yet, unless you guys disagree. What I would like to do is wait to the end of the year, because we have 660 that we should really go through, or at least go through the majority of before we ask for more money. So I'm just gonna say, this is where we are. We'll tell you at the end of the year whether we want another 500,000 or not, which we're gonna want, but I just wanna say that. So basically, just because I know it's an important number, our lending number is actually like 912,000. But really, for anything that's non-ag related, it's only $234,000 of available funds currently.
Question,
Yes.
if we take the extra 500, are we paying interest on it while you have it, or we?
No, because what happens is we essentially have to make the loans and then they reimburse us.
Gotcha.
So once the loan is made, then we get reimbursed for that loan amount, and yes, that's when interest starts accruing.
Okay.
So until we've actually drawn it down, yeah, there's no interest.
So when we take it?
Just because I don't wanna be seen as hoarding money. I want us to just be seen as somebody who's a top ag lender and is going through a lot of money.
Okay.
So I just wanna wait till we get down the road a little bit further.
Is there a chance that someone else could step in and get that money, or?
I mean, technically, yes, but nobody's even close to what we're doing on the ag side, so I don't think so.
Do we have a sheet with
I
that?
mean, and we could get more than 500,000. He said we could get a million, but then we have to do paperwork. He'll give us 500,000 by just
Sign.
signing himself without any approval.
Okay, is there a sheet with the
So,
ag
yeah.
lending requirements on it, or
Is there what?
a sheet that shows what the ag lending requirements are?
Yeah, I can forward that to, yeah, it was part of our plan, we had to put forward how we would use the money.
Okay.
Yep, I can
Please
share
sign
that with the board.
When do we have to spend that in a certain, or loan that in a certain period of time?
There's an expectation that you'll use it within 2 years, but we're the only ones who have used it and have come back for more money. And it's been over 2 years. So that's why we're in good standing. So, yeah.
Good.
Write that down. So that was it on the treasurer's reports.
Glenn, is there any reason to continue to have the 20K in escrow, if you will?
Well, I say no, the village says yes. You know, because basically that 20,000 we put in escrow there was in case, DRNC, wasn't moving forward with their diaper grinder and screen. And it was kind of just a good faith measure on our part that we would put up the money on behalf of DRNC for the village to draw down if there was any issues. So DRNC still has not put in the screen and the diaper grinder that has been there. So there's a couple reasons why I haven't pushed on it. A, I want them to give me a check for $50,000 for the pump station project. And B, I don't wanna push them on that until after we get into a smoother place with the pipeline and pump station as a whole with the industries.
Fair enough.
But yeah, that's on my radar screen to
Okay.
get that back.
Good.
Alright, I think that was it on the treasurer's report unless there's any questions.
Any questions? Okay. Any comments on, the loan report, excuse me.
Oh yeah, okay, loan report.
Because we're back getting payments, so.
Yep,
There's some stuff we wanna go through.
Yeah, just a couple comments. 808, Peg and I have been trading some correspondence back and forth. You know, they're just been completely crushed by COVID. They may be requesting an additional deferment. She's gonna get back to me definitely if yes, and how long
If not
she's
all, I would
requesting.
say 90% of the ways will cancel.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Mhm.
insane.
Yes. Yeah. So, that's there. Integrated wood is current. Liz's hitching post, we know about.
Yeah, is Carly back working on that?
Not yet, but I will because now things are moving forward. She's just still so backed up with real estate and loans that, yeah, it'll take a while. So Michael Tracy, catering, Elena's Michael's catering, you know, basically he does weddings and college sport functions, neither of which are going on. He's requested a 6-month extension.
You guys could request it.
Yeah.
You think 6 months is actually long enough?
It picks up against,
He wanted to get through till,
as it picks up again April, May.
well, for the wedding side, but,
And
but
sports.
Winter
yeah, his
sports
sport,
gonna
his
start.
winter sports
January?
should start in January. So he was only requesting to February. I'm like, Mike, 6 months, it gets you to April 1st is due. I mean, it's, so yeah, so that's why it was 6. He thinks it's more than enough. Basically, I offered him 2 months more than he was asking
Right.
for.
Just in case.
Yeah,
Well, it's
You
not
can always
always,
come back.
yeah, and his payment is not horrendous. It's
No,
only,
it's
it's
not.
less than $200.
right, but it gives them a chance to build some cash.
Right.
Some cash flow.
Yeah.
That's the important part.
Yeah.
is maybe he is going back in January, but you really won't have any cash flow
Right, right.
probably until March or April.
Yeah.
Right.
So April's
Yeah.
And let's see, Shady Lady, I just haven't had a chance to follow up with, I know that's on me.
It's supposed to be on Mike, he's supposed to take care of it.
Hey, this thing with the summer camps killed them, killed everybody up there.
Oh, yeah.
If you were relying on the summer camps, you got hurt.
Stanford Gables, we talked about last meeting, they're deferred till May. Just have to make that clear on here. That was it on the IDA, unless there was any questions. Everything else is good. On the LDC side, Club 55 is current. Delaware River Basin Stone made half a payment, so,
At least they're trying.
so we'll be talking to them. Lucky Dogs Hamden Inn, must be a sale happening because we've been asked twice
For payoff.
for payoff numbers, once to give it and once to confirm it as of last Friday, I think, or something, as of today. Yeah, so today it should be closed.
Good.
Yeah.
I heard they're ready to close that, Glenn.
Yeah, good. And then Two Old Tarts, the balance is incorrect there. You know, they had brought their balance down to 40, and then we just processed a double payment that we received from them, so their balance is actually down to 38,505.
This week, on Facebook, they appeared on something called upstatenewyork.com as one of the top places in New York State to have a pumpkin pie. And evidently, according to the article, Chuck Schumer says it's his favorite place to have pie.
Oh, God, that just killed
And
them.
I'm looking at the thing going, they're trying to sell the place.
Oh, my understanding
It was
is
good
they are,
advertising for Delaware County though, it was great.
they're not yet there, but they're almost under contract
So,
for the restaurant.
They gotta,
the other one was the Bake Shop in Hancock, which is no longer even there, and that was a great place to get pumpkin pie, or apple pie. Good advertising for Hancock, just don't stop looking for that place.
they had a 10-minute segment on CBS, I think it was Monday, on the motel in Roxbury. The two guys that have the motel down
That's
there.
good stuff.
It was really, really good stuff.
Alright, so are there any questions on the loan report?
No?
Alright.
Very good, thank you, Glenn. Any
Make a motion to
questions,
accept.
anybody on invoices?
Pay the invoices.
Okay, then can I have a motion for the 3 financial reports, please?
Move.
Second, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay.
Glenn, you wanna do updates on DRNC?
Okay, DRNC, we have a nearly finalized settlement agreement with them. We've agreed to all the terms, we sent them a draft copy last week. They had a couple questions, which I answered, and one requested change, which was not significant. Our attorney's making it now. He said I'd have it by today. They'll sign it when they get it. And last night, I received an email from them saying that their first payment, which is due October 5th, under the settlement agreement, was mailed that day.
Actually Thursday night, or Wednesday night.
Was it Wednesday night? Yeah, okay. So the check's in the mail, which is always comforting to hear. But, yeah, but no, I think they understand the seriousness.
Score.
You know, and so, yeah, so we should be good on there.
And the hidden end?
Okay, so the Hidden Inn, we were potentially gonna be interested in purchasing the property for back taxes.
Bigger.
Yeah.
Okay. We're gonna defer that for executive session.
And the next one?
Okay. New York City land acquisition.
That's me. So actually, after the last meeting, I just mentioned something about the National Academy of Science doing their 20-year report on how effective they think the land acquisition, well, the whole watershed, New York City watershed as a whole, how effective it's been. And one thing that really interested me, and Bruce is in the same group, the core group, was the National Academy of Science suggested that New York City DEP stop the land acquisition as it is, meaning the big, large acre at a time buying, and be a little bit more strategic, and at the same time possibly work with communities at a buyback and swap program to get those parcels kind of back into economic development possibilities. And I can read exactly just a sentence or two what they said. This is the National Academy of Science. The New York City Department of Environmental Protection should work with watershed communities to identify parcels now owned by DEP with lower protection value that offer development or relocation potential. These parcels could be sold or swapped for higher protection value lands, serving both watershed protection and community vitality objectives. So the first most important part is identifying parcels that have that low water quality, and there's plenty. You know, I'm looking at parcels right now, and there's a little stream that might run through the corner, and it's like a 200-acre parcel, you know? So there's plenty of that, but we also want to find ones that could be good for economic development. So that's one part, is identifying parcels that could match this, but also actually building a program to where we could make this happen, and also getting DEP on board. I think that's the most important part, is actually getting them to the table. And the first part is going to be identifying parcels that don't have much water quality about them, and saying, we'll take these off your hands, you don't have to pay taxes for them anymore because we'll buy them. We'll separate that little part so you can always have that, or that'll have an easement on it, whatever. There's a lot of complications with it, you know, Sean knows, I talked to him about it, and Bruce knows, because it's possible that they could just keep easements on these, because each parcel they bought, they also put an easement on. But the good news is the National Academy of Science, this report is gonna go to DEP, and hoping that they make some changes, and we're gonna use this as kind of a foot in the door, that we can really change the land acquisition program, create this buyback. And the other thing is, in my research, I haven't found a program of buying land back from any environmental or water quality departments, but I've found small instances of where that happens, and in each instance there's always a conduit organization or municipality that buys the land from, in this instance, the DEP, and then sells it to the next commercial use, maybe even residential use. And there could be a lot of organizations within the county that are equipped to do that. I think the LDC and IDA would be really well equipped to do that. So I'm just kind of curious if that's something that we might be interested in. I'll be doing a lot of the preliminary work on it, but if it gets running, is that something that we might be interested in?
Did the National Science say anything about the prices they were paying for the properties they were buying?
No. All the National Academy of Science. Oh,
Well,
they did?
sorry, I mean,
Okay, sorry.
probably, they didn't say, the Academy recommended that there further socioeconomic studies and evaluations be done because their evidence, as it was presented to them, indicated that, yes, there had been an impact over the life of the program.
Yeah, sure.
So a lot of the recommendations were preliminary and indicated the need for further study and evaluation.
I'm thinking of one over in Gilboa, the guy Sullivan had a bar, and they gave him $3.5 million for the property. It was only 5 acres. And I passed there the other day, what did they put up? Storage sheds. Really economic use.
No, something's gotta be wrong there, cause
Yeah.
if the city bought it, you can't put nothing on it.
Not, yeah, that doesn't.
No, how did they do that? They took the bar restaurant was here. the side piece, that's where they put the,
Well, the city didn't buy it, he must have sold that separately, cause it, on city.
yeah, that's
city
right,
purchase,
they must have,
we
yeah.
can't do it. But to go further in this, Delaware County, and Delaware County Soil and Water did an excellent job on this. I mean, it was extremely important, with planning department, economic development, there's just so many, Delaware County Soil and Water. All the work we sent them, they accepted almost every bit of it. The buyback is gonna be hard, or the land swapping is gonna be very hard, because what we'd really like to see is, they want a piece alongside the river, we want this piece back, and we're only looking at the developable piece, the rest of it they can keep. We want 5 acres or 10 acres that's buildable for economic or residential. But we also want them to pay for the piece they're buying by the river, so they own both pieces, but we want them to give us the one. So, I don't know how that's gonna work out.
That might be a little tougher.
Yeah, so it may come to economic development to purchase the economic development pieces. It may fall to the towns to come up with money for the residential pieces. We'll have to wait and see, and they can apply for grants, because we all know housing in Delaware County is low. There's not enough low-income pieces of property to purchase because of the city jacking the price up so high, the local people can't afford to buy it. So, whether there's some type of grant money that applies to a person buying residential piece or whatever, it's still gotta be worked out, but, Delaware County did an excellent job in this, and none of the other counties hardly even participated in it. I'm sad to say, CWT didn't participate very much in this process either, which is really sad and disgusting, but, so, all the hard work everybody did, I wanna commend them, cause it worked out in our favor. The, regulators are gonna go and look at the scientific study, and New York City really doesn't have a say in the matter. It's what the regulators come back and say, this is what you're doing, they gotta do it, they don't have a choice in the matter, so. So this has been very positive for all of us, so. Great job, everybody.
Is there any concern with it, or?
Has there been any discussion with the environmental community on this?
They were, the environmental group was pushing the last full meeting we had before the virus hit. They were pushing that the city needed to buy the critical pieces by the river or right on the stream edge, and that's it. So they were pretty much pushing the same way we were,
Okay.
at that point. Who knows what happened now, but, so that was favorable at that point.
So far, so good. Yep, good. Thank you, Evan. Okay, does anybody else have anything else that they wanna discuss before we go into executive session? Okay.
Jim, excuse me, are you going to take care of the LDC agenda also before you go into executive session? Or is that all taken care of?
There's nothing there that we haven't been over, so I don't see any need to.
Okay, and what is the reason for executive session?
Reason for executive session, we've got 2 items that pertain to property acquisition, and we have 2 items that pertain to confidential loan information and financial information.
You know, Jim, I have the EDA grant update in the LDC, I don't know, it's real quick. I don't know if we
Go
just
ahead
wanna
and
do
do
that
it.
right now before we go into executive session.
No, we'll have to come out to make the loan approval anyways, so.
Really?
Yeah.
So you're gonna have to come back.
I can wait.
Okay, then can I have a motion to go into executive session, please?
So moved.
Second. Thank you.